The organizers of the presidential debates in the United States promise that the next one will be different. The Independent Debate Commission says there will be changes to avoid a repeat of Tuesday night.
The question is, radical left. Will you shut up, man? Listen.
Some American political commentators are calling for the remaining two debates to be scrapped altogether after 90 minutes of insulting interruptions and chaotic crosstalk. Both the Biden and Trump campaign teams indicate two candidates will in fact be there to take part in the next debate set for Miami, October 15th, a town hall format. Senior Washington editor Lindsay Duncombe is back on the story for us this morning. Nothing official yet as we understand it, Lindsay, but what are the kinds of changes they might potentially make to these?
Well, the Commission on Presidential Debate says that they are looking at additional structures that would provide more orderly discussion. It isn't clear exactly what they mean by that. One of the suggestions that has come up is the idea that the moderator would have the power to turn off the microphone of the candidate to avoid some of those interruptions that were largely coming from the President of the United States. You know, it is hard to get Americans to agree on much in politics, but there seems to be widespread agreement that what happened on Tuesday night was a disaster, and a lot of the blame for that disaster is going right at the president, and whether or not it was a strategy to sort of throw Joe Biden off his game, a lot of criticism for all of those interruptions and insults. Joe Biden's campaign says that he will continue to go to the debates. I want to give you a taste of how both Biden and Trump were talking about the debate in the aftermath. Here's what they had to say.
He thinks that if he just yells louder and louder, throws out lie after lie after lie, he'll get his way. He thinks we'll forget. Well, he picked the wrong guy.
The verdict is in, and they say that we, all of us, one big liberal media is upset that I took the fight to Biden and exposed his very dangerous agenda.
And the Trump campaign has said that it doesn't want to see any rules change at this stage in the game. And they say that the reason why Democrats would support that is because the Trump campaign believes that Biden indeed lost the debate.
We talked, Lindsay, about how this is probably going to be the most watched moment of the campaign. Nielsen, the ratings company, saying more than 73 million people watched on Tuesday. It's not the record. That was 84 million for Trump-Clinton in 2016. But, I mean, that's tens of millions of people who saw all of that chaos, who saw some of the contentious moments. One of the most talked about remains the president's refusal still to disavow support from white supremacists and hate groups. Talk about the, I guess, really the ramifications of this, even within the Republican Party.
Yeah, and whenever Republicans speak out against the president, even when they do so tepidly, it is in stark contrast to how supportive elected Republicans have been of this president. And what we saw since the debate is that Republicans, particularly Senators, Heather, who are now concerned about what's going to happen to the Republican Senate majority, have said that Donald Trump needs to do more, say more, to denounce white supremacy. Because it was that moment when the president refused to denounce white supremacist groups that was getting a lot of attention and causing a lot of concern, even among those within his own party. Here's a little bit of what that looked like. All of these people are Republicans.
I think he misspoke. I think he should correct it. If he doesn't correct it, I guess he didn't misspeak.
I want to associate myself with the remarks of Senator Tim Scott. He said it was unacceptable not to condemn white supremacists. And so I do so in the strongest possible way.
I think the president had a strong performance, but I also believe that he needs to be clear about his stand against white supremacists.
Now, Donald Trump did later in the day make some comments. It's unclear if that disavowal of specific white supremacist groups will be enough to quell that push from within his own party to say more on this topic. It's interesting, too, Heather, because this is the second time in 2 weeks that we have seen some Republican senators in particular push back against the president. The other controversial moment that caused some of that backlash was, of course, when Donald Trump wouldn't promise to participate in a peaceful transition of power should he lose in November.
Lindsay, thank you very much. Our senior Washington editor, Lindsay Duncombe.